well-deserved Melania Trump is furious. The woman who wants to be First Lady is taking on several media outlets that she says printed false reports about her personal life. Now Melania is threatening to sue. Les Trent.
Joke. Funny thing to say. He's had a real problem with Elon from the beginning of this thing, but it's like he's in this leftist. He is in the most leftist thought bubble available, which is Hollywood. And, and I think also, he famously, there's some videos of him in blackface, and those came out, and he had apologized for them. And I think he took that hit and, really doubled down in the other direction.
Jimmy Kimmel. For the fourth time, Kimmel hosted the Oscars before an adoring crowd of Hollywood stars who laughed and curried favor with the man who wore blackface so many times he's second only to Justin Trudeau in his fondness for the practice. Yes, some of the very same celebrities who wanted you to believe they were horrified after yours truly said in 2018 that people used to don dark makeup in order to imitate well-known black celebrities and it wasn't a big deal.
Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly just turned Jimmy Kimmel's worst nightmare into late-night comedy karma. After Melania Trump hit him with a $100 million lawsuit, Rogan dissected the fallout with savage glee, while Kelly carved up his sanctimony like closing arguments set on fire. The man who made a career mocking others from behind a desk, now center stage. And this time, the punchlines are aimed straight at him. If karma had a laugh track, this would be the series finale.
And you need to defend yourself all the time. As you may heard, I filed a few lawsuits and I'm in the court now because they accuse me of doing stuff that I never did in my life. And they wrote lies. And I will not allow that. I will fight till the end because I don't want that they damage my reputation and my name.
Late night comics would come on and they occasionally would make us laugh, Piers. I mean, occasionally they understood that they were in the game of making everyone laugh. As you know, they've abandoned that game now and they're just political operatives out there. Colbert, Kimmel, Seth Meyers, who I struggle to even mention that guy's name. He's such an absolute prick.
Rogan didn't ease in. He launched like a meat-fueled missile. The second the Melania lawsuit dropped, Joe leaned in with that signature grin like he'd just spotted a tofu-eating deer in the wild. Jimmy Kimmel, the high priest of Hollywood moralizing, had finally pushed the wrong one. To Rogan, this wasn't just poetic, it was primal. A court jester catching his own pie to the face. The guy who turned late night into a soft-focus therapy session just got served. Literally.
Obviously, Kimmel's love of blackface was not a deal breaker for ABC, which already employs him as a late-night host, and which, in addition to its many blackface awards shows, also produced and promoted many shows and stars in blackface. It appears the real sin with blackface, you see, is talking about how standards on it have.
Joe opened with the transformation. Kimmel, once the frat boy of late night, now rebranded as a moral monk with a writer's room and a Twitter filter. Rogan called it what it was, a spiritual facelift sponsored by peer pressure. The result? A self-righteous avatar pretending to be edgy while bathing in applause from West Coast brunch crowds.
There's not a chance in hell that this is funny or gonna work. And when you see those flat, corny, late-night monologue jokes with no audience, Colbert, there's Jimmy Kimmel, there's Fallon. What they're doing is just like reading off of a teleprompter, so a bunch of really good joke writers wrote them some stuff, and then they're playing to the audience, and the audience is like laughing, so they get this feedback, and they know how to do that. They stand there, and there's applause signs. And then there's producers. There's the warm-up guy that's literally telling people to clap. They're like, okay, explaining to the people, okay, when Jimmy comes out, I want a big round of applause.
But what really lit Rogan up? Kimmel's habit of punching down and calling it activism. Mocking Melania Trump's accent like that's brave. A first lady who never held office, never made policy, but somehow became Kimmel's favorite target because she couldn't punch back. Now, the gloves are off, and Jimmy's team is screaming about free speech like they just read the Constitution for the first time.
For the practice, yes, some of the very same celebrities who wanted you to believe they were horrified after yours truly said in 2018 that people used to don dark makeup in order to imitate well-known black celebrities and it wasn't a big deal. absolutely ate up the performance by Hollywood darling Mr. Kimmel, whose blackface costumes included his oft-repeated bit as basketball star Karl Malone.
Now, Karl Malone never seen no flying saucer himself, but if he do, that's gonna be a
And let's not forget,
Joe laughed at the irony. The guy who hides behind comedy to attack others now hiding behind victimhood when it boomerangs. The only thing thinner than Jimmy's jokes is his skin, Rogan quipped. Melania didn't just sue, she finally called the bluff. Joe called it long overdue. Years of recycled mockery, warmed over monologues, and now the punchline has a price tag.
Jimmy Kimmel's a loser. I do Jimmy Kimmel. I did him a lot.
Yeah.
And he'd be standing on the sidewalk. Oh, sir, may I bring you in? He'd bring me in every time. The whole show is talking bad about Trump.
He called us doofuses when we had you on.
He's a group of in flat-brimmed hats.
Guess what? We
Ask
did
him how many.
what he did.
Ask him. Yeah, you do bigger. Yeah, you do.
Enter Megyn Kelly, calm, ruthless, and courtroom ready. She didn't just join the story, she owned it. Kimmel, she said, isn't being censored, he's being confronted. The moralist of late night finally facing consequences for years of condescending claptrap. Kelly went straight for the hypocrisy. A man who branded himself America's conscience while mocking a woman for her voice and outfits.
you know how much it costs to produce Jimmy Kimmel's show? I guarantee you it's tens and tens of millions. It could be as much as 100 million. I have no idea. You know how much Tucker's video cost? Nothing. You know how much Jimmy Kimmel, how many people he gets tuning in on an average night? Just last week, his average was, in the overall, meaning all viewers, 1.5 million. In the key demo, 236,000. Tucker would have been embarrassed to pull that on any night he was on the Fox News channel.
She dug deeper, calling out the evolution from man show frat king to teary-eyed hall monitor. That's not growth, she said. That's marketing in drag. Kimmel, still clinging to 2017 material in Trump's second term, looked less like resistance and more like a rerun. The jokes are stale, the outrage exhausted, and now the target's firing back with lawyers, not laughs.
We're 3 times what Jimmy Kimmel gets. And Tucker's little basement video that he did from clearly like his cabin that he broadcast out of Maine in literally has 21 million views. Okay? 21 million views. Whereas, as I point out, on ABC, a massive network that comes into your home for free, that you have to make no effort to find, at best, Jimmy Kimmel can get 1.5 million. He needs to have a little self-perspective before going out there and hurling these insults because he looks a...
And Megyn didn't buy the spin. This isn't an attack on comedy, it's a reckoning. Jimmy thought applause from a studio audience shielded him from reality. But now, he's up against one of the highest profile lawsuits in celebrity history. And the best defense his camp can muster is a PR pity party. Emotional stress. Please. Try being on the receiving end of his monologues for a decade.
How weak and pathetic is a guy like that? The Tonight Show, which is dying. They're all dying. Where's Johnny Carson? Bring back Johnny. It made you appreciate, right, Uncle Sam? It made you appreciate the greatness of Johnny Carson. I go on a show, and he goes, "Is that your real hair?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Do you mind if I mess it up?" So he grabs it, and he starts really going crazy, right? And everybody laughed, and it was a big thing, and it was a big hit. It was all over the place, and he got great ratings and all. And 6 months later, he went out because he was under pressure to apologize because he humanized.
Oh, and the timing? Chef's kiss. Donald Trump is back in the White House, the man Jimmy swore would never return. Melania's lawyered up, and Jimmy's stuck recycling old punchlines like they're vintage. Rogan saw it for what it was, the collapse of a comedy class that forgot how to be funny. Kimmel went from edgy to preachy, from satire to sermon. And now he's learning. Moral smugness doesn't hold up under legal scrutiny.
Last night was the 96th Academy Awards show, and while you might have missed it, there was one clear winner. No, not Oppenheimer. It was sanctimonious leftists for their lead role in pretending they are better than you. Winner number 1, Jimmy Kimmel. For the 4th time, Kimmel hosted the Oscars before an adoring crowd of Hollywood stars who laughed and curried favor with...
Megyn came in with her closing arguments, sharp and savage. The same Hollywood crowd that once rallied behind Kimmel? Silent. No hashtags. No #StandWithJimmy. Because this time the lawsuit isn't safe, and the woman suing isn't in the club. The hypocrisy was suffocating. Years of mocking Melania, zero pushback. But now there's money on the line, and suddenly the allies have evaporated.
I will tell you, he's not the worst. The Daily Show has the worst ratings. They only have 366,000 people watching that show. During the Jon Stewart years, it was over 2 million. Now it's down to 300,000. Seth Meyers, absolutely dreadful. He doesn't even have 1 million, 778,000. I mean, for network television, this is, you don't have to pay for it. It's there when you turn on your TV, you plug it in. That's a dreadful number. Greg Gutfeld on cable, which you do have to pay for, it has more than double the numbers of Seth Meyers. Jimmy Kimmel, 1.5 million averaging, also equally horrible. And then there's The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, who, back when I was there, 2017-18, he was averaging 2.3 million a night. Now he's down to 1.3 million, Jesse. And he cannot afford the "you are toxic" controversy because he's also pulling in, reportedly, over $15 million a year. So you got all that money for 1.5 million in audience, which is a nothing. I mean, the middle of the day on Fox News gets that, or at least used to before the Tucker controversy.
Kimmel, once crowned the conscience of comedy, now just another panicked millionaire hoping a judge thinks he's charming. Rogan closed with the kill shot. Kimmel's legacy won't be edgy comedy. It'll be getting sued by a first lady for being too smug to know when to shut up. In the era of Trump's second term, irony isn't dead. It's in court, filing motions. Megyn's final note. This wasn't the death of satire. It was the rebirth of accountability. The man who once fired punchlines from a desk now finds himself ducking subpoenas. The courtroom's the stage now. And there's no laugh track in litigation.